As you sit back at your drink.
Hey everybody, this is Daryl from the Simply Incredible podcast, and I'm excited for this one. Sadly, I couldn't go to Big Lit Comic Con today, but my two guys are here, Billy and Andy, aka Bonafide Comics. Bonafide hiding way in the back because I don't know. So
what is going on, man?
It ain't much happening here in Lynchburg. So
yeah, well, I think everything was going on today. Yeah,
it was pretty packed.
It was definitely this was by far. I tell you, I'd love to see the attendance numbers at least for the day, because by far this was the most people there that I've seen. The guests, unfortunately, everybody knows that LeVar Burton did cancel.
Yeah.
However, there were people that were equally excited for the man behind all the main voice in Red Dead Redemption. And one of our friends showed up and managed to meet him and get his video game signed and all of that. And frankly, you know, that a lot of people were just like, man, and that was done on just a couple of days' notice. So I'll tell you one thing, JD, Big Lick Entertainment, they know how to promote their show and they know how to bring what people want.
Yeah.
And the amount of excitement there today, the amount of people there today, he is real, you know, Big Lick Entertainment, JD Suthman and his brother Adam, who really, you know, deep dives into the comic end of things. They're really starting to bring it with this thing, and it gets bigger every single time.
Yep.
And Andy offered advice to one of his dealer friends down at a lot of the North Carolina shows to come up here, and he was glad that he did. So that ought to say something right there.
Nice. So, y'all get anything?
We did. You know, one of our seller friends, I caught up with him last night just for 5 minutes before leaving. And today, obviously, things are so busy. Just trying to get away from the table was kind of a task. It's almost like you had to use your time wisely if you were able to get free time. So bathroom, food, and on my side, you know, the occasional cigarette was a pretty big deal. But and that's not endorsing, don't start smoking, kids. But last night, you know, for I ended up paying about $4 a piece for these. But I got a supervillain team up number 6 that features a villain called the Shroud, which is like one of my favorite things under the sun. You know, he's lurking there in the back, but he uses something called the Dark Force, which if Marvel ever really decides to do anything with that, is going to be pretty freaking amazing. Here's a copy of the Image Comics Crow #1 that I picked up. I'm still searching for that McFarlane variant cover to this book. I thought that was a very cool book to pick up.
You don't want that McFarlane trash.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm all about it. I managed to pick up a, you know what, this might get big, you know, once we get to the Green Lantern series. This is a great, John Stewart is a Green Lantern.
Nice.
So that was a pretty sweet book, you know, to pick up. And then I'm obviously very nostalgic towards the older super teams, like your Invaders and your Champions and your cool stuff like that. And Defenders is a book that really kind of catches my eye because it just generally has a cool lineup. But this
also the most OP super team ever almost. Like
I would say so. I think that's a good way to look at it. But I picked up this copy of the Defenders number 94, which does feature a first appearance in it of the Gargoyle.
Nice.
So if he ever decides to make, you know, obviously all of these characters and whatnot, if he ever decides to make a comeback, this book is pretty undervalued in my opinion, because I remember being a kid reading the Defenders along this era, and the Gargoyle was really cool.
Nice.
And before the show started, I had a buddy of mine. It's like, hey man, do you mind? Would you mind selling a book for me? I'd appreciate it if you'd stick it on your wall and see if it sells. And I took one look at the book and I'm like, you know what? This book is way too nice. There's no way that I'm going to let somebody else walk along and grab it. So, you know, obviously he offered a little bit of a friends and family discount to me and everything. So I got it for a really nice price. But how many times do you see this book?
In a high grade.
In a high grade. This is an 8.0.
That's nice.
but that is, that classic. And this book, it has been doing nothing but going up. And I almost, at one of the Concord shows recently, I almost pulled the trigger on buying one for about half of what I paid for this, but the amount of color breaks. I mean, it had like a corner to corner color break on it and everything, and it wasn't slabbed and all of that stuff. And so my much, I guess, a high amount of gratitude goes to my friend for selling me that book for a very attractive price, so I can add it to my collection.
That is awesome. That's one of those books I've been kind of keeping an eye out trying to find, and it's tough to find a good copy.
It's hard to find.
Definitely telling you, it's very hard to find good copies of that. I do believe Andy is being summoned by his phone, but I'll tell you, the guests out there and everything. One of our friends came by. Archvillain Comics came by. He didn't have a setup there and everything, but he went and met Al Snow of WWE fame, the man with the head, and managed to get some awesome conversation from him, and a really nice little a picture of him with Al holding the head, and it was just a really, really good time. I will say, for people that came looking for comics, our booth, we did exceptionally well. Like I say, we price stuff to move, and we are very competitive in what we do, and we bring the books. But six vendors there out of the entire Civic Center exhibit hall. It really wasn't a whole lot of comic representation.
Wow.
But that often ends up is a good thing, because when people do have stuff, sales are pretty brisk. So I enjoyed today.
That's a little tired now. To hear that.
Yeah, a little tired now. I guess you can kind of tell that, but it's been a semi-long day, a lot of standing on the feet, and but everybody. I'm just shocked at how many people were there today. It really kind of shows that this is something people want, and moving forward, I think it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, I know he's got 2 others now that he does.
I know that they announced a Big Lick Comic-Con up in Northern Virginia, and they announced obviously the next one here will be either August or October. I'm pretty sure August is when he's looking to do it. And then of course they run their retail store, Big Lick Comics, here in Roanoke, and I know Roanoke is fortunate, and I guess I would definitely view it as fortunate, because for this town, we've got 6 people that basically retail or resell comic books.
Yep.
And it's a very comic rich area, but we're also an area that's somewhat cheap in what they're willing to spend. We are rife with dollar boxes and stuff like that. And today, dollar boxes just weren't there. And I'm starting to wonder if that's not a kind of a sign. A lot of people talk about, I'm not paying more than $40 for a long box and stuff. I'm starting to wonder if those days are drying up a little bit.
Yep.
Where you see your massive deep discount dollar boxes and everything. I know, like, a lot of people that try to do the resell game, they really, for lack of a better term, lowball. On stuff, so they can offer the dollar books. And there were people there today that generally would have it, and they had none of that with them today. We're really moving into that $2, $3 book range, on most anything that's worth having. Obviously, your image glut and all of that. We know a dollar book when we see it.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, a lot of your Marvel Volume 1 stuff, a lot of your pre-New 52 DC stuff, people want that stuff. And it's really starting to show in buying habits.
I know every time I've been, so I think I've been to Big Lick 3 times. And there's always one guy, right as you walked in, always has this big, huge booth. And he always had like thousands of dollar books.
That particular guy was there again today, but the dollar boxes were not.
Wow.
So, like I say, that kind of tells you something right there. And of course, you know, I mean, just the whole speculator, you know, it is a thing. You know, obviously at my booth today, several times I had people with key collector whipped out.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then like, look at me, I'm getting something for nothing. It's like, you know what? Good on you.
Yep.
You know, obviously, you know, sometimes it is hard to kind of keep up with every minute thing. So I do like having stuff in there that people feel like they're getting a deal on, because I know I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, going through those boxes and being like, man, this is so cool. I just got this, you know, $10 book for $1. You know, how great is that? And I think everybody deserves to feel like that from time to time. But you know, I definitely that like I say, the whole atmosphere, it's in a good spot right now, I think. You know, I think some of the prices are starting to come down, believe it or not, on certain things. I think people are definitely a little less likely to have that fear of missing out. You know, things are going to spike in the very beginning, and generally the people buying those books are not the ones that get hurt if the book goes down. You know, so I think we're kind of moving towards a healthier place, but I do know that a lot of the older, like your blue chip stuff that we're used to seeing every time you go to a show, it's really starting to dry up. You're starting to see maybe one or two dealers that may have it at these shows.
That's my only stuff that I have with me. I got it from Will.
Oh yeah, Andy can't help going through my books without finding something for a while.
Robin.
I have it in trade, but I don't have the singles.
But
which one was that? Robin what?
It's the year one that Chuck Dixon did.
Nice.
It's just awesome.
With Two-Face on the front. Nice. You know, one of the series I'm looking for is Red Sun Superman, that 3-issue series.
Oh, I've got the trade right here.
I've got the trade.
Yeah, I heard it's kind of like that one. It's hard.
Dude, you don't see it.
Yeah,
I found, like, in all of my digging and searching and looking for that stupid series, which is probably one of the greatest Superman stories ever told, in my opinion.
Yeah,
even though it is Elseworlds, but in all of my searching for that, I found issue 3, and that is the only single issue that I own.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I used to find it on eBay, but it's like one of those things I want to find in person at a show somewhere. I didn't even realize it was a series. I just thought it was a trade. You know, a graphic novel is what I thought it was. And then we were at a show. We were at Heroes Con, and Ricky picked up the set because I saw it right after he saw it, and he got it before I could get to it.
Yeah, I tell you, it's that's one of those things. I would love to own that. I'm happy with the trade for the time being.
Yeah.
And you know, it is a fantastic story. In fact, I've slowly started moving into trades for stuff that I read heavily. A great example of that are the Mutant Massacre issues. I am currently looking for, you know, if I could get an omnibus with Inferno in the proper reading order, I'd be a super happy guy with that. Of course, Armor Wars, I've got the trade for that for Iron Man. You know, and it is really nice to be able to have something that you can kind of abuse a little bit, because that trade that I have there of Red Sun is in no way, shape, or form in mint condition. But I tell you, like, with these bookshelf format books, like the early Elseworld stuff, you know, you Gotham by Gaslight, your prior to that, Frank Miller's Dark Knight. You know, you crack that thing open, you're literally cracking it open.
You are literally putting a crease right down that side.
Yep, those stock covers, man. And but I'm actually finding that for stuff that the Mutant Massacre, I'll read that 3-4 times a year easy, just because, I mean, it's just nostalgia, man. And just owning that in a format that allows you to do that and kind of save you. Of course, I'm old school. I've got to own the books, got to have the books, you know, but it is nice having that option for my heavy reading.
Yeah, that's how I am too. Andy, did you get anything besides that one book?
He picked up some stuff last night.
I picked up something from Page. I picked up the it starts off Red Paging Hulk, but then it changes to just Hulk magazine. But the first Sienkiewicz Moon Knight. Hopefully she's not watching this. I don't think she's driving back.
They went and got Korean food tonight. She's been showing that.
I've got some of the Rampaging Hulk. It's just not. I thought I actually had them right beside me. They're actually right over here.
Yeah, got a beautiful copy because she has it. She bought it in an auction. I think Will was actually at that auction, or I bought it for her because she wanted them. But all of them. But for some reason, that one that had it's like the first Sienkiewicz Moon Knight, the centerfold's detached. So she always wanted a better one. I found one today, so I grabbed it.
Gosh,
I don't have it with me.
I want to go.
I'm hoping to be able to do a little more shopping tomorrow. Tomorrow should be a lot slower day, and maybe we can find somebody that hasn't been happy with their sales. But I think every dealer there, if they didn't do well today, it's on them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the people were there. They were ready to buy. As long as you had what they were looking for, man, there was really...
It was a good show.
Yeah, it was a very good show.
I mean, when I saw that line, when they posted the little clip, I was like, holy cow. I did not expect that big of a line.
Yeah, well, the Red Ranger was there, and every show they've managed to get one of the Power Rangers there, and I want to say they've hit for the cycle now, haven't they?
What?
With the Power Rangers.
Yeah, they got all 4 of them, 5 of them, 7. How many different ones is it?
They've never had Kimberly Jo Johnson. Is that her name? The Pink Rangers.
The Pink Ranger?
They've never had her. Maybe they'll get her next.
So they've done yellow, white, and all of.
Have they done yellow?
Admittedly, yeah.
Maybe they did have a pink, but it wasn't the original pink. It was like a later one.
Yeah, I'd have original pink.
Yeah, well, I think Power Rangers is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, to be honest. If they'd had like voice actors from He-Man, I might have been like all on board or something like
Power
that.
Rangers is.
Oh, if they had Tara Strong there, I would have been like, you know what? I'm taking a chance.
Tell JD he'll try to get her.
That's the beauty, man. It's like they target people,
just send JD an email and be like, I really want Tara Strong there.
Yeah.
Michael,
he'll do his best if he can get.
I know they had Michael Bean there, and I really wanted to meet him too.
I think tomorrow I'm going to break away and try to get a little Bean action, because I tell you, like a lot of those fantastic '80s movies, man, Aliens, all of that stuff, he's got a hand in. Johnny Ringo, Tombstone, probably the greatest Western of my time.
I wonder how many times they've asked him for a spelling contest. That was him, wasn't it? Or was
yeah.
Or
walk up and somebody just look at him and say, "I'm your Huckleberry."
No, gosh.
But I think to me it's more about, like I say, he was what, Terminator. He was in the big 3: Terminator, Aliens and Predator, right? Was he in Predator?
Was he in Predator? I think he was in Predator.
I'll have to check it, but all I know, man.
I know the first 2.
He might have been in Predator 2, but I don't remember him in there.
Yeah, of all my action stars, man, he had a finger in all of that.
Predator 2. That was with Danny Glover.
Yeah, number 2.
Yeah, I watched that one time, and that was it.
I think it's aged well. Like, it was pretty. Like, the first time you saw it when you were a kid, you're like, eh. But if you go back and watch it, you're like, yeah, this is pretty good considering what the other ones were after that.
I'm gonna have to watch that then.
That's the beauty. That's what I love about my '80s stuff, man. Is I can pull it out.
I don't know what that means.
If
girls, me 15. Okay. Dennis.
Yeah, that was Dennis saying something that may or may not be appropriate. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But
I did want to tell you guys this.
What is that?
Did watch Dick Tracy this week for the first time.
Did you enjoy it? Because I did.
I will say this, even though I still don't like Madonna, it was really, really good.
Dude, just the color scheme, it was fascinating to me.
That's what got me, is because after you mentioned it, like I say, I'd never seen it, but it really popped off the screen.
That's it. And if you watch it in a frame of mind, because I'm not a huge Warren Beatty guy, it's like that movie. They had like the bad guys were really cool. I enjoyed that, but it definitely it had this great feel to it. The whole era and everything.
Mm-hmm.
or
But
crime noir, but like the comic version of it. Yeah, it was amazing.
it was just it made you care about Dick Tracy a little bit more. And I think if a movie does that, it kind of nails it. It hits the nail right on the head.
Yeah, that kid that was in the movies. I know I've seen him in other things too, and I just can't think of what.
You just got to be careful with kids in movies,
Hmm?
because that's but I think even that aspect of the movie worked out well,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes kids just kind of ham it up, or they're too cute, or it's just overacted or whatnot, and I think he just contributed very well. I think another one would have been Short Round from Temple of Doom. I think he just did really well in that role.
Was he in Goonies first or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know which one come first.
Yeah.
Goonies did.
Data.
Goonies is, of course, just another classic '80s movie that must be on people's radar.
That's a movie that if it's on, I am watching it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess I say this that kind of like my parents would look at the stuff they watched from the '50s or whatever. I can remember sitting down having to watch Bob Hope stuff or John Wayne stuff and just kind of rolling my eyes, and it just astounds me to this day to have a conversation with somebody that's 20 years younger than me that just looks at me like, Pulp Fiction, what? What is that?
Dude, that's a classic. Dude, I loved those Jerry Lewis movies when I was a kid. My mom would watch them. I'd still watch them. I thought they were good.
Was it the Nutty Professor?
Yeah, Nutty Professor. What was the
that
one
was
where it was
great.
in the department store? I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. That one was good.
The Nutty Professor back in the day. It's funny because when I see my mom, she's always watching Andy Griffith or she was watching Bewitched the other day, which kind of surprised me. But she's always watching those shows from that era, always black and white shows.
I think Bewitched is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love Bewitched. No, the other one was Little House on the Prairie. That was not in black and white. But she watched.
No, I had to grow up on the Little House on the Prairie. That and the Waltons were two shows that were very popular in my household, especially with my mother. And but
some of those '70s shows I remember watching. It was not really at my house, but I remember I'd go to my grandparents' house and it'd be like the Chips.
Chips was awesome, dude.
And I just remember, and it was good. Like you would watch it and be like, it's the same thing over and over again, but it's still great.
Yeah.
Punch and John, man.
Yeah.
Then what is it? Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Love me some Fall Guy.
The Honeymooners. Puff said he loves to watch The Honeymooners and I Love Lucy. Love those shows, but The Honeymooners to me has always been one of my favorites.
It is very, very good. Jackie Gleason, he was a treasure. Shoot, even if you look at some of them towards the end of his life and career, he still kind of brought that kind of charisma to the screen, and of course, I guess everybody back then was fueled on alcohol too, so I think that, I don't know, maybe they were just less inhibited, they didn't take their craft as seriously as modern actors do.
Yeah.
I just remember all the Nick at Night shows when I was a kid that would be on Nick at Night. So they'd be like My Two Sons, or is it My Three Sons?
My Three Sons.
Oh yeah. See, stuff like that I never could get into,
I would watch it because it was almost like a time capsule. I'd be watching it like, is this really what life was like back then? And it's like, no, not
like
at all.
Leave It to Beaver?
Yeah, it's like, no, this is just
We were just having a conversation about One Quantum Leap not too long, long before this episode.
I love some Quantum Leap, man.
Dude, all about some Quantum Leap. Anybody that doesn't understand Quantum Leap and the whole premise behind it, and if you want a cool comic book kind of relation to that, check out Chris Claremont's War is Hell run. I preach this to anybody, and I bring it up every time Quantum Leap comes up, because that features, this soldier. He just wasn't a very nice guy, and he ends up dying in combat, and death shows up and basically, for lack of a better term, quantum leaps him into the bodies of people that are doomed, until he can finally get something right and earn his way to some form of redemption. And it ended abruptly with issue 16, but if you can hit like issues 9 through 16, dude, that is some great storytelling, and in the Quantum Leap vein.
Kind of like Dead Man. I've always said they. I mean, hopefully that's kind of where they go with the Dead. Well, with this new series, is a Quantum Leap-esque show where Dead Man's jumping from each character and trying to fix stuff in their life.
That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've always like, why have they never done this? It makes complete sense, but
but they'll probably go in a completely different direction. But we can hope.
Yeah, that's right.
We can hope.
Yeah. Sadly, as much as I do like my DC, I mean, their direction has been all over the place the last few years.
I don't know. Peacemaker's pretty awesome.
Peacemaker, yeah, I've got to watch that.
I love it.
I definitely have to watch. I may end up. Well, I'm waiting for the show to end, and then I'll subscribe
next week
and binge it.
Titans, not so much. I'm not. I'm the biggest Titans fanatic, and that show, I watch it just because it's Titans. But I'm like,
to me, I mean, I agree. I mean, I took my mind out of that was actually the Titans, and I thought it was a good show if you just take your mind out of it that it's actually the Titans. But season 2 where they totally butchered Batman.
Well, Paige likes it, but I'm like, yeah.
I think you're designed to be critical.
Take care, Puff. Thanks for stopping by.
Like, I'll never be satisfied, kind
of. It definitely happens that way.
Hello, Lenny.
Hey, Lenny. I can't see that. I can follow it.
I know. See, Andy is shocked that I do all of my communicating during this podcast via an iPhone.
I was like, I'm very curious.
So, there are a little bit of volume challenges because, strangely enough, I go to try to mic, add the mic or add anything like that, but I can hear, but just reading stuff can be kind of rough.
Well, you need a bigger iPhone.
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. We call those iPads if we want to go larger than what I have. So,
yeah, I was thinking about this a while back. It's funny how phones were really big, they got really small. Now they're starting to slowly get bigger again.
I just want to go back to the flip phone, man. I just want to hit number 1 3 times to get to the letter C. That challenged your coordination.
I think that was number 2, wasn't it?
Well, it might have been. Who knows? I was late to the cell phone game anyway. And
I could go down. I could be driving and sending a text at the same time because I knew where all the letters were, how many times I had to eat each button.
That's it.
I never would do that. I'm just saying I could have. I didn't actually.
Well, no, plenty of people did it then because they wasn't against the law. Now that's the reason it is now against the law, but plenty of people did it then.
Let's see. Where's my link button? Dennis says he's going to try to stop by, so we'll send him a link. So, what other celebs were at the show?
All right, there was Michael Biehn and his wife. There was Al Snow.
Okay, I saw a picture of that. What's her name? Jennifer?
Yes.
And my question is, who is she?
She has some celebrity to her.
Oh, I don't.
But honestly, it doesn't immediately come. My guess is, obviously, Michael Biehn travels, likes to have his wife and when they travel, but I do know that she does have some celebrity to her. And I do know that she had a line of people to see her. Let's put it that way. But unfortunately, her work, if I were to look it up now, which I need my phone, which I don't have access to that. But if I were to look it up, I could tell you for sure. I don't recall seeing Trina Robbins today. Did you see her?
Mm-mm.
Because they were supposed to have Trina Robbins there.
We didn't get to get out away from our booth very much.
I did run across
in the chat. Hey, Bonafide Comics, what is going on?
I was talking to the chat.
Oh, never mind, Bonafide Comics.
And I did see Michael Golden today.
Yeah, Michael Golden was there.
And Michael Golden. See
that name sounds familiar to me.
He is of
iconic artist.
He was one of the creative team for Rogue.
That's where I know him from.
Micronauts. He did some like a Marvel Fanfare 1. If you want an amazing Spider-Man cover, the G.I. Joe yearbook series, and of course,
Nom. He did amazing stuff on Nom. And what else did he do?
All right, this will be.
He's done covers and stuff here and there.
Then
What's
Superstars.
I didn't see Arthur Saddam there today.
I didn't either.
So I'm wondering if he made it in. But I also know not Michael Golden, but the other one that was supposed to be there. I know there was another popular artist there. Dude, y'all have to forgive me. I'm just tired right now.
Matt Slay.
Matt
Slay is amazing, dude.
He was there. Matt always does awesome work.
Yeah, that's a good dude. I like him.
Anybody out there that attends conventions, especially in this region that I know Matt is somewhat prolific in. If you want an artist, his work is just freaking amazing. Matt Slay. So he was there today doing his stuff. I need to hook up with him and get a sketch because I think his work is simply amazing.
Yeah, I used to ask him. It's what? What is it? Did you say his work is simply amazing?
Absolutely.
It's not simply incredible.
By the way, everybody, you can join me next week on my new podcast, the Incredibly Simple Podcast.
That's right.
Incredibly Simple Podcast. There you
So
go.
just letting you know that. But,
if you need a guest.
Yeah.
Dennis is running laps in his house.
I am. We just got home. I didn't make it to the con today because I had to open up the gym at 10, and then I had a kid that had swim at 10:30, and then.
Don't you have employees for that?
I do, but I still have to open up. I still have to open up.
Do you not trust your employees with the keys to a gym that is basically mats on the floor?
Yes, I wish it was that easy. I wish.
I mean, couldn't Brian open up?
No, because he was in North Carolina.
Oh, excuses.
I know, right? The nerve. So let me see.
It is what it is.
And then what happened after that? Something happened after that. Oh, and then we had kids spending the night, so I had to come home and help do that shuffle. You'll get to experience this very soon, my friend. You are well on your way.
Oh, I've already done. Well, early on, recently it's been like, oh yes, spend the night so my daughter can play with them and I can get stuff done.
Right.
And then completely opposite now. It's like you try to get stuff done and it's like, what is crashing into the house?
That's right.
What loud noises do I have to go look at?
That's right. And see, and you have girls.
Yeah.
So they're not paths of destruction like 3 boys.
My daughter.
4 boys.
Look at the sexism we got going on here. Come on.
Yeah.
They just are not.
If you met my daughter, you'd say different.
It's not until they're adults that they're more destructive and they leave, crap everywhere.
I will tell you, Spawn of Andy has plenty of energy. And
she uses Will as a bouncy castle.
Oh boy.
Right?
She definitely warms up to people very quickly and is they're there for her entertainment, guaranteed.
No,
She's
I know.
a delightful child.
Yeah.
Dennis, I have a question. Are you in a hotel or your house? Because you've been walking for 5 minutes now.
I have an embarrassingly large house. I will admit, I have a 5,000 square foot, 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom
Good Lord.
Mansion.
monstrosity. It looks like an apartment complex from behind. It's got a finished basement.
So you, sir,
And now
are a public servant, and your wife is in the medical profession. So how many drugs do you sell to afford that much house?
This was before the boom.
Hey, Andy's wife is in the medical profession. How many drugs does she sell to avoid their house?
Well, I don't know. How much did I get? I'm only kidding. Only kidding.
Look, he's right next to you. He's right next to
Hey.
you.
I sell comic books to afford the house.
Let me tell you something.
Martial arts affords that house.
Yeah. No, I got lucky. I'm good at renovating houses, and I've bought rundown houses and restored them over the years. And so I bought one for 40 and sold it for 80. I bought one for 80 and sold it for 180 something. And then I bought this one for.
Yeah, we can't get you to give us $50 for a freaking comic book. What are we doing wrong, man?
And then I
What the hell is that all about?
Right, so it's just like when we buy comic books and we clean them and we press them and we flip them. It's the same thing. So,
Yeah.
But I bought this house for I bought the worst house in the best neighborhood, literally, and
you cleaned and pressed it.
And I cleaned it and pressed it, and I've still got a couple things to do. But yeah, it's embarrassingly big. I can't deny it.
You restored staples on it.
I was giving you grief, and next thing you know,
yeah, here I am on the receiving end of Billy.
I would like to apologize for that.
Billy had some pent up issues from today. Is all I've got to say, man.
Yeah. So how'd y'all do today?
We did good. We've already done the breakdown. You're gonna have to go back and watch the beginning of this show, which
I'm happy to do
missed. I don't want to bore the viewers with repetitiveness.
That's okay.
So I think the only person that's watching right now is this guy here. That'd be Bonafide Comics.
Bonafide is watching. I understand. I don't blame him. I don't blame him a bit.
He's like that one guy in that top corner is pretty cool.
Right?
Like it.
So I'll ask a big pile of questions that maybe you haven't answered. What's the best book that's been on the floor so far?
Probably all the books that we have.
Probably books that we sold. I sold Amazing Spidey 14 today.
Do what?
I said I sold an Amazing Spider-Man 14 today.
Nice.
Okay.
What did you sell today? That was probably your high end.
Probably my Silver Surfer 3.
It was a graded Surfer 3 that was sold today.
What was the grade on it?
7.0.
Oh wow, that's a nice book.
Good friend.
It's not as nice as my 8.0 Surfer 4.
Let me do it. There you go.
That is and always will be my favorite cover.
Yeah, well, it's mine.
I have one over there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for that rag, but I bought it so Dennis couldn't.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. There's no way you don't care for that book. It's impossible.
It is a fabulous book.
Yeah, it
really is. I'm grinning ear to ear to have it in my possession. Let's put it that way.
No, I totally agree.
Is the Silver Surfer 3? That's Mephisto, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great cover.
Mephisto and 4. Yeah.
And all red.
But I did. I sold a detective. The Demon of Gothos Mansion was sold today.
Okay.
Various, $20, $30, $40 books. I did have a Fantastic Four 48 on the wall today. I had a 52 on the wall today. Hulk 181 was on the wall today. Spidey 129 was on the wall today. So we had some good books. I have no clue.
Same book.
Glare.
Book. Is there too much glare?
There we go.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Keep doing circles. It's still going to have the phone glare on the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. There we go.
It's your Silver Surfer. Nice.
But
I don't know how to get through the glare.
I'm just looking forward to going to a show where I can shop, man. Where I can just hit up I'm hoping to get something done tomorrow. I'm going to meet up with Mr. Bond tomorrow.
I didn't have time to shop today. It was busy.
Yeah, we're counting on. Well, I don't know, man. After today, and honestly, I did not expect it to be that busy.
Was it busy?
After today, maybe I need to have a little more faith in tomorrow and what it's going to be like. Because I tell you, it could be surprising.
Yeah.
So maybe I won't have time tomorrow. Maybe I'll just have to go on eBay tonight and buy me something nice.
Buy yourself something pretty.
That's it.
Just wait until Heroes.
I had some people come by my gym today. And I went and took one kid to soccer and one kid to swimming, and I went by my gym to open up. And then there were some people, there were some cosplayers.
Did you ask them if they came from
Cosplay Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, so they came all the way from North Carolina, but I don't remember. Maybe I would be lying if I told you I didn't remember where. But they came from North Carolina, and they were here last year for it, and they're here this year for it as well. There's a husband and wife, and they're probably in their late 30s, early 40s.
What was their cosplay? That might be the easiest.
Yeah, so she was Rosie the Riveter, but she was a steampunk Rosie the Riveter. That's what she brought with her.
Nice.
And her husband was Gollum, maybe?
I don't remember Gollum today.
I feel like I saw
Someone short, bald, and has little hair.
But actually I take that back. He wasn't Gollum. Because this guy he's about Billy size. He wasn't scrawny like me.
I can't pull Gollum off.
Billy, you can pull Gollum off.
Right. So, I just forget what he told me he was good. Oh, man. I'll think of it after we hang up, right?
I saw a fat guy at Heroes Con a few years ago dressed up as Wonder Woman. So you can play Gollum.
That's right.
Yeah, I couldn't pull Gollum off.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. But that's, they came to town. And they came to do some jiu-jitsu first to work off some energy. And then they went back to the hotel and put on their costumes and came to the event. And they said that it was standing room only when they went by to go in to the event, as far as the line goes.
We saw some pretty sweet cosplay today, though. There were a couple things. I saw a really cool Spider-Man 2099 today. That was pretty cool.
Great.
All right.
I don't think I've ever seen a 2099 costume.
This was one of the first to my memory, and I thought it was very cool.
No,
we did have this same old. Obviously, I'm not going to say anything because if anybody.
I think like the best cosplay I saw personally. There's going to be a guy tomorrow. He showed me the pictures. He's going to have a full Moon Knight costume that he built himself. It is I've seen, because my wife's a huge Moon Knight fan, and I've seen some pretty badass Moon Knight cosplays. This one beats them. Like he said, I think it took him 2 years to build it. Like it's crazy. And he's gonna have it tomorrow. He's gonna be in the costume. If he doesn't win, he's gonna be close because it is awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Which costume?
It's the OG, like white and silver with the hood. It's not he has Mr. Knight, but he says he's built this one and it's good. Like it looks like it could legitimately be on a television show.
There was
it looks better than one.
He showed me pictures of it.
There was a cosplay show on Sci-Fi that like Yaya Han was one of the judges, and she's
I remember seeing that show.
A very famous cosplayer, that actually sells pictures of herself cosplaying characters that people apparently pay big bucks to get and get her to autograph and everything.
Yeah.
And that show there showed me though the amazing amount of work it goes into people that cosplay. Like we're talking, they
spend a lot of money.
They stitch and they sew and they they mold and fabricate everything. And we're not talking like I'm going to go out and buy my own tights and put these on. They're talking like I'm going to make my tights.
Using a lot of fabric and everything from scratch.
That's a lot of the pride side of it, right? It's like everyone, if they go, like if you're a true cosplayer, that's like the whole point of it is like you build everything out yourself.
Yep.
That's it.
Or you find it to like be a part of the costume.
Was it a series that you watched?
Yeah, it was on. Yeah. I know it was on sci. Maybe it was the Heroes of Cosplay or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that a couple years ago. Yeah, that's a fact.
It was a very cool show. That actually gave me a little more respect to because I've always viewed cosplayers as people that just take up aisle space. Costumes don't have pockets. I do, Therefore, I want to spend my money. So get out of my way so I can get to the booth and support this person that is paying money to be there to sell stuff. And cosplayers are like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and take my Instagram photo and stuff. But, there is a lot to it, and I definitely have softened my stance.
Mm-hmm.
I got some friends down in Georgia, and they do cosplay, and they do some insanely amazing stuff.
Yeah, and these people,
I'm trying to get them to come up to Heroes because it's incredible.
I did see a cool. Oh God, it was a guy that was dressed up as somebody from like one of the pilots from not GI Combat, but the other one.
Jonah Hex?
No.
Well, that's a Western versus war. So
it was one of the war, and he was one of the pilots. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because it's like, it was an older guy, and you knew he loved that series when he was growing up.
Wasn't like Enemy Ace or something like that, was it?
No, he wasn't Enemy Ace. He was one of the pilots, like one of the fighter pilots.
Jeb Stewart?
I can't think of his name.
Okay, there was
Cooper or...
It was like an Air Force version of GI Combat, which tended to focus on tanks and everything.
Yeah. But it was a cool one. And then there was the guy that was in the he had like it's almost like a ghillie suit, but I was like, like, dude, how hot are you? And he was like, I'm dying in here.
there was a guy there in a full military ghillie suit. Ghillie suit.
Just digging through the comic boxes, and I was just like, how hot are you right now? And he's like, I'm dying. I was like, that's a true cosplayer.
They're devoted to their craft. The girls just go the other way and we're next to nothing. Or at least
exactly.
Today.
It's like, I'm going to be poison ivy. Just a couple leaves. I'm good.
Brian, Daryl, that's what you should be, is poison ivy.
I should be.
Equal opportunity. Equal opportunity.
Harley.
I'll be a hairy ivy.
I would die. I would try to kill it with fire.
Billy, you could be poison ivy. You could be.
I think Dennis should get a green gi and put a dragon on his chest.
Hey, I would do it if I was built like that. If I wasn't 50, I would do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not stopped half the people that cosplay.
Dude, yeah.
That is 100% true.
Painfully true.
I mean, again, the fat hairy guy dressed up as Wonder Woman. That's all I'm saying.
Equal opportunity.
I will say there were some people there that definitely wore their outfits well. Though they chose the right character, they portrayed it the right way, and but you know what? It's all in fun. Everybody, man, we should be encouraging anybody.
I think it adds to shows myself. I've always thought that.
Oh, absolutely.
I was telling Will about this. Like one of my friends who, they don't sell comics or don't care or whatever. Yeah. And they showed up with a show with me, and they were just in the booth, and they were like, everybody that's paying you seems so happy because they work in retail, and there's like all these people seem so happy to buy stuff from you. He's like, it's like the exact opposite of my retail store. He's like, and that is true.
That is true.
It's the best job I've ever had. That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. What else did I miss? Anything special?
No, we haven't really discussed anything. We've discussed 80s TV. We've just discussed a con today.
Yeah.
Andy, what's your next con? What are you going to be at next?
I think my next one's Rock Hill.
Right.
Dave and Rick Fortenberry. They always put a great show together you'll have some really good dealers, and it's in Rock Hill. It's a small show, but it's quality better than quantity. I mean, it's going to be some of the better dealers in the area.
Yeah,
after that, Charleston.
Rock Hill, South Carolina. And Charleston.
And then Charleston. And that's a great show. That's it's Mount Pleasant, which is across the bridge, but that's a great show for good dealers. That's one of my favorite shows of the year, just because obviously it's in Charleston. I love the area. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of I count it as a vacation show where I go and Paige goes and we go eat as much as we, basically eat a lot of great food in Charleston. And,
Well, Charleston's just a beautiful place to be.
oh yeah, it is.
Beautiful,
You
like
almost-
old place.
Yeah,
And
you
that's Captain's Comic Expo, and he puts on a great show.
you feel guilty for being indoors when you're in Charleston, South Carolina.
And that, I mean, I know I'm going to spend some money on that show because a lot of the guys come up from Florida, like
Were you guys in at Heroes Con a few years ago when this one? Because I'm going back to cosplay right quick. This guy dressed up as the Hulk, but he had to bring this costume in pieces.
yeah, I remember that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he had like 2 gigantic feet. Then he had to get inside of that. Then like put this big thing on. I was like, he couldn't move. See, that is the point where it's like, yeah, a little too much.
No, NC Con, there was a guy's Groot one time, and he had to be on stilts. You remember that?
I do remember
Yeah.
that. That was actually an amazing con.
He
He was Groot and he was on painter stilts.
Yeah.
There are, yeah, and so there are bands, like rock bands. One of them is called March 4th, and instead of FOUR for the number, it's FORTH. And so they are an instrumental band, marching band style instruments.
Mm-hmm.
They have this show. It's not just a band like you go see the Stones or the Led Zeppelin or Nickelback. It's snuck that in there, right?
I felt like that was a shot. That's great.
I've resisted touching the leave button just now.
I might go back. They've got some good songs. But anyway, this March 4th, they have people on stilts, and that is just part of the show, is they are basically cosplayers on stilts the whole time.
Guar.
Guar's another one.
War is a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guar's a show. Guar's a cosplay show.
Alice Cooper was the same thing too.
Yeah.
Fun fact about Nickelback is Nickelback figured out that if they make all of their songs sound the same and follow the same formula, people who like that formula will consistently dial into what it is they're singing and or playing. Therefore, if there was ever a definition of sellout where you could change your music, but you decide not to for the sake of dollars, then that is the picture of that is there. So I will steadily deny that Nickelback has good songs. They've just sold a bunch of music.
So I started writing Nickelback haikus a while back. You want to hear any of them?
Please honor us right now.
I guarantee that a Nickelback song or two pops on the air, and every single person that's a hater of Nickelback, under their breath, sings along.
Lifted 4x4, arm out, tribal ink tattoo, blaring Nickelback.
See?
Wow.
Loves it so much, loves that band so much, he makes haikus about it.
Haiku.
Frustration. Sitting at red light, can't find Nickelback CD in backseat chaos.
I feel like I should be like
Confusion. Nickelback song plays. Napster MP3 labeled Nickel Creek music.
Oh my God.
To supposedly dislike them so much, they occupy a lot of space in your head.
There you go.
I have more.
Well, you know what, man? He has more.
Well, I'm going to say this though.
Hey,
If you go along that vein,
Yeah,
AC/DC has played the same song for 30 some odd years.
I
But
totally,
Nickelback has
I
no
love
equivalent to Thunderstruck. Nothing.
I totally agree. And AC/DC is one of the best rock bands ever. Ever.
100%.
Thunderstruck is just an amazing, epic song, just from the opening riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. AC/DC,
Money
Yeah.
Talks is another one I love.
yeah, in Argentina at, what is the name of that stadium? What is Argentina?
Argentina Bowl.
No,
I don't pay attention to more
The
countries.
Jesus.
America.
Welcome to the Hotel Argentina.
Argentina has a stadium. So apparently
I
Argentina,
always wanted to go to Argentina.
apparently they love rock and roll more than anybody else in the world except for America. And so there is, I think Rod Stewart is the number one attended concert or band of all time, of all people. And then
Why are we talking about Rod Stewart?
because
I-
This was
I-
a comic book podcast.
Right.
Exactly.
So
No one's
apparently-
watching anyway, so who cares? We can just talk.
we're just
about
all
what we want to
catching up. We're just all catching up. So apparently Rod Stewart's the number one of all time, and then Metallica in Russia is number 2. And then AC/DC in Argentina is number 3.
David Hasselhoff in Germany has got to be right up there.
You know, I feel bad for Mr. Hasselhoff because the night that he was supposed to do his big thing, the Berlin Wall fell. And,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
it somehow trumped this massive pay-per-view that would have, I don't know, man. Poor Mr. Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff, man.
He's the one that taught me that some people, they stand in the darkness. They're afraid to step into the light.
Is this a haiku?
I got it. It's Baywatch.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
It's a haiku, right?
Dude,
You have
I
to-
watched that show a lot. So
Oh my God! It had like, who was it? Yasmin Bleeth and Pam Anderson. What
I was
pubescent guy didn't watch that show?
right?
and when Paige and I have been watching the Tom and Pam or Pam and Tommy show.
I haven't
about
started
it.
that
Yeah.
yet.
But anyways,
You
and
said-
I was like, I was telling her, I was like, I wasn't really a Pam guy. I mean, I liked Pam, but there were some other ladies on there who were more like my
Yeah.
style, more
Yasmin
natural.
Bleeth.
Yeah, like they're a little. Yeah, Yasmin was
Yes,
great
man.
look.
Who
And
was that
Logan,
one woman, Alexandra
I didn't like
something?
Logan. I think
Alexandra Paul, was that her name?
Probably. That,
The tall, really skinny.
yeah. The
Oh, the
brunette-
one that was.
Stephanie. I don't know the actresses. I just know their
Yeah.
characters in the show. Oh, Stephanie. Yeah,
Yeah, that girl.
She was.
he was probably an actually.
She was all natural.
Well, she was probably an actual lifeguard. Some of them.
I think she actually did like marathons and stuff. That's why she was so slim.
Well, the main guy, the boss guy, not Hasselhoff, but the other guy, he was an actual lifeguard.
Oh,
And they were
really?
just like, yeah, you're pretty good at acting. Just be on the show. Show them how to do stuff.
Can you play a lifeguard?
Yeah.
Can you pretend?
I'll just stay at Holiday Inn.
You know what? If I ever do a movie and I need a jujitsu person, and we're like, "Hey, Dennis, can you act like a jujitsu instructor?"
That's all I do. It's all pretend anyway. All made up.
My brother-in-law, he has a dojo, but they asked him to do something in a movie once. I can't remember. I mean, it was like a B movie, or probably not even a B. It was probably like a Z.
That's all right. Yeah.
But he had a spot.
It's like being on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Except that Z level movie will get more views.
No,
This
that's
is a
right.
D for the
Triple
D.
your viewers.
There are people that come back to watch this. It is our duty to hold their attention for, what are we at, 58 minutes right now?
Yep.
He said duty.
Sit through this whole thing.
Duty. He said
And you
duty.
tell me that you watch this whole thing, you'll get $25 off.
No,
Bonafide.
no. 20% off.
20%
Yeah.
off anything
20%.
at Bonafide
The
Comment.
secret word is banana.
Banana.
Come up the
He's
bill
got
of
some
your
books for me, and I will be
should just say
invoking
banana.
said secret word.
Right?
You must say, and I mean it,
Or
banana.
you must recite a Nickelback haiku.
Or you
Oh.
that's right. You have to do the Nickelback haiku.
You know what? That's
You
not
know
worth
what?
the 20% off.
If you say Nickelback, it's 50% off Bonafide Comics.
I need to get some.
You just said $25 that some guy's gonna roll up to you and be like, I'm getting this $4 comic, you owe me $21.
You guys, that's right. You guys are gonna have like half a dozen people walk up to you and say banana and Nickelback all day tomorrow.
No, it's not Nickelback. They have to repeat the haiku to me.
That's it. I need to hear Banana.
Glorious.
Not banana.
You know
I
what?
need to-
I'm
I
going
need
to
to
actually
say
come to
so
that
more.
con tomorrow. I'm not going in because that's probably, if it's a lot of people, that might be bad for me. And I'm just going to be like, look, there's a guy in there. Just say banana.
Banana.
25%, well, 20% off. Just like that.
Banana. That's all you need. Who's going to be there tomorrow that's not there, that was not there today? Anybody?
Ricky
Tomorrow's
Terry.
cosplay and the cosplay competition tomorrow, and some of the workshops are tomorrow, I think.
Very good.
Go to
Is there,
bigletcomiccon.com to find any information.
That's pretty much it, because my brain, the hamster on the wheel that is rolling, he's done flipped with the wheel a couple of times right now.
Yeah. Shoot, I was near your house when this popped up. We dropped.
And you could have had 3 right here.
Yeah.
We would have had 7 because I had my wife.
No, they would have been running. They wouldn't have stayed right here.
Yeah, well, that's right. So at 4:00, I had a soccer game, or Cooper had a soccer game, and then we had to bring him to Benton to spend the night with Grandma.
Make one right now.
Because tomorrow at 5
You're
a.m.
racking your brain for a haiku.
I will. I'll make one right
I got to go to Charlottesville in the morning at 5 a.m. in the middle of all the snow. I get to drive up Afton Mountain and all
Go
this.
Who's.
Go Who's. So I won't be there tomorrow either, unfortunately. My
I'm
whole
as a slave owner. I have no use for UVA.
my whole objective was to bring about half a dozen books to CBCS, and I can't even get there long enough to do that.
Hey, drive them over. They'll take them for you.
I know. If it wasn't so late, I would.
Volunteered this crap. Yeah, let me spend half of my precious free time filling out paperwork. Please.
If I use the code word banana, will that make it okay?
There you go.
Maybe.
I think your
And if
enunciation
you
was
recite
slightly
the
off.
haiku.
Gonna start.
What?
It's like he popped up at haiku. What?
Yeah, I'm writing one.
Haiku.
Oh, now he's writing the haiku. I just thought you were going online somewhere and reciting someone else's haikus.
No, these are ones I've been writing.
Dude, I work with a lyrical genius right here, man.
Miracle
You know what? He is a poet, and I
I'll
didn't
sing
know
it.
it.
I told her I was going to write a book of Nickelback haikus and sell it.
It's just like you don't stop the
creative
inspiration.
juices are always.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just like a great man once said, "Don't stop believing."
Don't stop believing.
Sell it for $9.95 so they'll
Don't
get a
stop
nickel back
me
and
now.
change.
I'm having such a good
$9.95.
time.
Or how about "Don't stand so close to me"?
Always heard the wheel in the sky keeps on rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
There was this great man in the mid-90s.
If you're watching this now, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Just
man.
leave. Go watch something else.
We have wrecked this train. I mean,
Straight to that.
There will not be another
Straight to the 80s. Best decade ever.
podcast for a while.
Yeah.
if you ever wondered,
Ohio is not here to keep us on track.
have you ever wondered why tiredness and drunkenness go hand in hand, and you can appear to be one if you are the other? I've had nothing to drink, but I am tired.
I bet. What time did y'all get there today? Or did you set up last night? Did y'all set up Friday night?
We set up.
We set up.
We set up last night. Showed up today. We did our Denny's breakfast this morning.
I like the Grand Slam.
Go Grand Slam. Except Andy did get a sausage link that looked like it was slightly nibbled on.
Yeah. That was odd.
Well, they gotta test it to be sure it's good for you.
How much,
Somehow, those 2 damn pancakes of his held half of a container of syrup. How the hell does that happen?
That was
how much pre-convention trading was going on?
Oh, not much. It really wasn't much. I mean, there was plenty of there are books there. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like, dude, this is such a like in terms of like you got a Concord or, you know, any convention that features comics. And I don't mean like, because we all know San Diego's not about the comics. We all know that a lot of these conventions, it really is kind of an entertainment convention. But like you go to these conventions that like you walk in and it's just crusty old men that hate life and they're just kind of sitting around doing their thing with
I wasn't even
long boxes in front of them. Those are conventions.
Yeah.
You know,
the vintage tour, the vintage show.
Well, my question is Big Lick going that
Roger
direction?
Yeah.
Is
Roger.
Big Lick going the direction of Celebrity Con as opposed to Comic Con?
Yeah, it's a media.
That's not bad for me as a dealer, that's for sure.
The cool thing with that though is you do get that bump in people that show. I sold books today to people. These were the first comics they were buying. They were kids buying comic books.
Yeah.
In fact, one of them bought.
You'll get parents that necessarily won't come to a comic show, but they'll want to come see a celebrity, and then their kids come.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'll go buy a comic. I've never bought a comic." You know, and it gets them introduced to it.
Yeah.
It was one girl.
I've got a Sharpie. I'll be there tomorrow to sign.
One girl bought a bunch of books out for me today because the only place they have in her town to buy books is a spinner rack in a coffee shop that somebody just goes and buys dollar books and puts them in that spinner rack. And all she wanted was some Daredevil books to read and some, you know, she likes Dr. Octopus, so she picked out some Spider-Mans. But she spent, for somebody that knows nothing about comics, and believe me, I cut her a deal, but she spent a substantial amount of money for somebody that knows nothing about it. And you're not getting that person at room full of comic boxes. And who knows, maybe something he did today, maybe something I did today have helped create that love of comics in somebody else. From people that they're not going to Salem Vintage. Yeah. You know, they're not.
I've also seen dealers, and we've talked about this before. Like they don't get they have like this disconnect. Some dealers don't, but you like have a kid or somebody that knows nothing about comics. They're like, I like, you know,
Groot,
and they were like, well, I have his first appearance back here. It's like, what? That there's kids not going to be able to buy the first appearance of Groot. You know, it's like
Groot. No, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like you need to get them some. You know,
freaking Rocket Raccoon and Groot comics.
Yeah, from like the 2000s or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. You know, and it's the same old. It's
and I've had dealers recently that come up to me because they're like, I need some new stuff. It's like they want new stuff, so they'll trade me like old vintage comic books for like newer stuff because they don't have it. You know, they want some. I guess what the new kids are like reading or something. I don't know. It's weird.
And I'll tell you straight up, you put me across a line of 10 long boxes from 1975 to mid 90s, maybe a little up to 2001. And I can pick it clean of anything remotely interesting in no time flat. But if you give me a box of 2006 through 2022 books and you say find your keys, you have $10, you can keep whatever, you know, whatever you find for next to nothing, dude, I couldn't do it. You know, and I'm ill equipped for the breed that Andy's talking about. And maybe, you know, I've got to start paying more attention to what's going on. Because how many times today were we asked for stuff where it was just like, man, I wished I had that to sell.
How many
Daredevil? You can't bring everything.
How many Daredevil 7? Is it 7 or 9? That is the first Echo.
That actually, I had one on my wall today, priced at about 60% of what it goes for, and not a soul asked to touch it.
For the Echo? Oh, that's surprising.
Wow. Yep.
How often did you get hit for the Hot 10 from CBSI? Or the 20 from the app, the key something or app.
Key collector app.
That one. Yeah. How often do you get picked up?
How many times did people come at requesting those books?
The books that are on this week's Hot 10 or
I don't
this
know.
week's Top 20.
I don't pay attention.
I don't.
Or what somebody said they heard may or may not be in something in Moon Knight.
I don't know. That stuff probably already, if it's hot, that means it's already been bought, probably.
Yep.
It was been bought the last show or two. Usually the hot lists come out, they've already been hot. So
the problem with like CBSI is it does cause this slight reactionary bump.
Sure.
But in all honesty, the books that people were looking for today were tried and true. If you want books that will appreciate and sell like at any given time, pre-100 Amazing Spider-Man
every time
is probably the hottest stuff you will touch. Movies be damned.
Those are, without question, the most consistent, guaranteed to sell, guaranteed not to lose more than about 10 to 15% of fair market value, even in a non-movie year, as anything else on the planet.
Doesn't matter. Spider-Man, Batman,
right?
And
hey, your Batman books that you got for me are on the way up again because James Gunn was
Ratcatcher series.
Yes, talking about that.
Spawn. I sell Spawn.
Spawn was huge today.
Batman, Spider-Man, Spawn.
Which Spawn was huge today?
Spawn. Any Spawn.
Yeah.
Dude.
Anytime random people come up, do you have Spawn comics?
I sell more Spawn books than probably any books.
How much does one go for now? About $20?
One? No, like 40, probably 30 or 40.
Really that much? Great day.
Yeah.
I got like 6 of them sitting over here.
I mean, it depends. I mean,
I put a newsstand one on the wall and at a previous show, and it lasted 45 minutes.
Wow.
What was your price on it? $50?
That one was in pretty rough shape, so I think I let it roll for about 75.
A raw newsstand you sold for 75?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to see him going for 100, and that's been a long time ago.
That's impressive. Yeah, I just picked up.
Like,
yeah,
94 to what?
I'd say let's go to Days of Future Past, about 142.
Yeah, 94 to 142 sells always.
Yeah, I got a few of those over there. That one that's got Spawn with those wings. I can't stand McFarlane, but damn, that's a gorgeous cover.
Lately, I can't keep She-Hulk in stock. Every time I put She-Hulk out, it sells out.
Right.
We had several requests for She-Hulk.
I remember buying a number one from you.
Quite a bit.
I wish I could come in and bring a bunch of whatever you guys were looking for with me.
I mean, in all honesty, people are just, it is so sporadic. And I love it, to be honest. I love it, but like, I sold 2 Madam Webs today.
Yeah, that's hot right now. Because
sold a lot of Power Rangers today. Well, obvious. Sold a lot of Star Wars.
Star Wars is the big one right now. Yeah, Star Wars is all over the CBSI Hot 10. But the Hot 10 is what has sold.
Well, it's only issue 77, but I really do love that cover.
That book, I've had 3 people look at that book today. I've got one on the wall.
Oh, the Spawn. Archangel.
That's just a gorgeous cover.
Yeah.
I think I sold one. Will, did you sell one today? Or
No, I've still got. Now I sold the.
I'm asking $75,000 for it.
Yeah.
Did it first? Spawn sold today.
Yeah.
I think I have some more of those Spawn issues down here.
I think.
In all honesty, I mean everything. It's really hard. Everybody pulls out the. Oh, look! I've got this, and
sure.
This is in this movie, and I'm running and shoving it on the wall now, dude. The Ghost Riders, we found 3 of them yesterday. I priced them at 20, 25, 30, 35. The $25 one is still sitting on my wall.
Well, but
You
still,
know,
you put it on the
the
wall.
Ghost
That's
Rider, the
That's
28.
your, that's your magnet. That's
Or-
just
Yeah.
you know,
You sold
hate
all
it
of
or love
them?
it,
I didn't sell any of them.
Oh,
right?
The
Hate
25
it
is
or
still
love it,
sitting on the wall.
that's the game. You know, whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, that's the game, and that's the game you play because it helps you move stuff and it helps keep the door revolving, and it
well, if
helps.
you're keeping up with that, then you're already behind. You know what I'm saying? At least in my opinion. Like if you're regular. Like
I don't know that that's true. I don't think that's completely true.
I think you're behind. Because you haven't sold them already. You're.
It's almost like
I want to get rid of that stuff because that's what people are wanting. So I
Right.
have to have
So
them
you
sold.
have to keep up with it. So but to
There
put
she
on
is.
the wall to get people, you know, that is the flame for the moths. That's just the black and the white of it.
I just know that I've got at least a short box of stuff where I dug it out and I raised the price and I said, "Hey, cool, thank you, MCU," and it's still sitting
As a
there.
dealer, my job is to have that stuff already. People
We have the
already
first
spent
Angela.
on
All
There
right.
you go.
So how do you know what is hot before the hot?
because I know because I'm in the trenches. I
There's
see what
issue
people are buying.
88.
So I'm like, oh, okay, people like this.
Newsstand.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is you need to know because you're in the trenches, but the other people don't necessarily know that, and they
How about
need
130?
this
Is
to
that
get
any
them
good?
up to speed. Because not everybody sells every day, every week, every weekend. So
I think what you're saying though is if you have to be told what's hot or what to like,
That's a
then
lot
that
of people in the hobby right
speaks-
now. They're spoon fed.
that's right, and so that's the game you play.
it speaks a lot to that mentality and style of collecting though.
Yeah.
So if you're going to spend $30 on a book that was in dollar bins a week prior, you will never, if you're doing it for the financial reason,
First,
you
Omega
will
Red.
never see the return you think you're going to get. You are that guy buying $200 of Black Bag Superman 75s.
I know that.
Superman died.
I know
You
that,
know,
right? But that doesn't mean you don't play that game.
I don't play. I just want to sell the books.
Right.
I'm not scouring. If my personal belief is if I think it's cool, somebody else will too.
Yeah.
And I luck out more often than not because a lot of books that I thought was cool, I wouldn't give you a nickel for that Doctor Strange book that we found two of yesterday. Where I'm like, okay, I'll put $30 on. Still sit on my wall.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and put $30 on it because they say it's hot and they say I should, and it's still sitting there.
Well, and if somebody comes up and says, "I'll give you 25 instead of 30," and you say, "Okay," because I had it for 2 a week ago.
I was sitting in a box. It's been sitting in a box in my basement for 2 years now, minimum.
Which one is it?
The
purple?
10 cents to me. If people want to give me $2 for it, they can have it for $2.
Is it the purple one with the yellow? Oh, yellow middle. Is that what's in it?
It was the first appearance of like the cider rack or whatever.
Oh, Juggernaut cider rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool book. This should have been.
I don't care about it. But I mean, it's just.
No, I get that, but everybody has their thing. And so if somebody has to be spoon fed, you need to be prepared for the spoon fed individual. When they say, "Hey, have you got these 3 books?" Yeah, they're over there. You could almost make a Hot 10 or a comic book app box.
But nobody's asking for those books. I'm telling you, at least not on my end.
Right, and that's
if they're on people. The most I ever see is people see them on shows. They'll be like, "Hey, I want this character because I saw him on WandaVision or whatever."
Right.
Now that makes the Hot 10. It's probably because they were on the show.
Right. And it does. It absolutely does. That's why I was asking, how much of that did you guys see today? I'm not saying
I saw 0.
I'm not saying that's how I go and buy books. I'm saying how much of that did you see? how many people came up to you and was asking for these 3 to 5 books that happen to be on a hot this or hot that?
What was on the hot 10?
Mostly Star Wars, honestly.
Like Cad Bane? One person looked at my Cad Bane, but they didn't buy it.
Yeah, it's just, I would be lying if I told you I could remember. I just remember it was propagated by Star Wars.
I know
The Inquisitors.
there was one.
I sold that last week or two. See,
Right.
and that was before it was on the hot 10. So what I'm saying is, if
I don't know, I just like
I
a lot of it.
I
A lot
understand
of the MCU stuff. It's like I had 2 really cool Boba Fett books up there. Nobody asked about them. I did get. It looks like Star Wars 68 is on the upswing again, because after 2 shows of no interest in the 9.4 that I've got today, I had 3 people looking at it.
I'll tell people that come up to my thing, I'm like, don't get caught up in the hot 10, because that's not when you want to buy the book.
You're buying it at the
right. I get that.
Wait
Yeah.
a week, it'll go down.
It will. I mean,
I don't disagree with you at all. I'm just my interest is how much it's kind of a sidebar interest.
That's the
to see
eBay
how-
game. Like, put them
the
on
only
eBay.
time I've ever seen it working was with King Shark, because people really liked
They
King
love
Shark.
the character.
That was
Peacemaker, because people really like Peacemaker.
Yeah.
The Eternals, absolute dud. If you didn't sell your Eternals before now, I'm sorry.
Yep.
You know, anybody that bought into it and bought into it and bought into it up to the release of the movie,
I agree.
I'm sorry. There's one Eternal that's worth having, and that's probably Cersei. That's issue number 3. Everything else, nobody cares. You know, it just that's just the way you got to kind of look at it. Like I said, if you are a comic collector out there watching this show right now, if you've survived this long, number 1, bless your heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And number 2, buy what you like.
Yeah.
Quit watching Atomic Com to report to you. Now, he's not making up the hype. He's
Right.
He's
you
just
know,
reporting.
he's reporting what he
That's
sees.
right. Right. And that's
Quit paying attention to what he's telling you.
Mhm.
Man, if you like something, you know, I don't need somebody to tell me that Surfer 4 is a great book. I look at the cover and it's like, man, I want it.
absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
collect what you freaking like. Stop this nonsense of, oh God, I'm scared I'm going to miss this. I'm scared this is going to be the. Like,
Absolutely.
just find a niche and go for it, man. If you like the bad guys, make a list of every first appearance of any bad guy you can think, no matter how good or how bad. If you like an artist, find your Russ Heath stuff and find it. You just go out and search it, man. If you want every Spawn book ever made, start with your big and work your way down. You know, if you can, that's just the way to do it. Quit this mess of I want my collection to be nothing but desirable keys, because you're going to end up with like 20% really great books and 80% stuff that just fizzled in the hype.
Yep.
You know,
That's
with
right.
somebody else laughing their way to the bank.
That's
If
right.
you want a great key, there you go. Mr. T,
100%.
the T Forced.
Look,
It is
got Neil
autographed
Adams' name
and
on it,
numbered
all right?
to 10,000.
That's it. It's the gold version, and it's got Neil Adams' name on it.
Yes. Numbered to 10,000 signed copies.
And that's it right there.
If you want a
There
great
you
key,
go.
come to Bonafide.
I'm gonna be selling mine now
We
that
will
it's a
put
hot
you on the
issue.
right path.
We will get you set up.
Yeah.
I will show you books that you should buy.
Yeah. So that's the information that a lot of people want is what should I be looking at?
They
You're the hype
They
game.
should be looking at what makes them happy. That's the answer. Right?
But if you want to be that guy that buys that $1 book and is
Or
a
put the
month
grind
from now,
in
yeah.
big.
Next week, we'll be starting our segment, the speculation segment of what should you buy?
Well,
we
we
will
just
start with
We'll
know,
start
what
with
do you
Nickelback haikus and work from
Oh,
there.
I'll have some. I'll have a Nickelback haiku every show.
Then Nickel Butt.
Just remind me. Remind me, and I'll have a Nickelback haiku every show.
guys. If you want something cool right now, I'll tell you. go ahead and start searching for the Marvel Comics Presents Sam Keith covers for the Wolverines featuring Venom. They're very affordable in that $5 range for the most part. You can find them in dollar boxes left and right.
Yep.
It's got freaking killer art from the 90s style. Sam Keith. People are getting the crap graded. There's 2 covers in particular. You'll know them when you see them because you'll be like, Jesus, that's freaking cool. Buy those books out of the dollar bins, man. And I guarantee you it'll be worth at least $2 in no time at all.
There you
Buy that.
Yeah, that's a Crime Suspense Story suicide cover.
Was that the crime? It's little bitty on my phone. I'm using my phone, of course. There we go.
And ladies and gentlemen, he is not being shot. If you look in that mirror back there, he is committing suicide.
Yeah.
That's right.
By the way,
Can't put that on a book
if you
anymore.
don't know how hard it is to find stuff like that right now, and you're more worried about, like, I don't know, a timeless cover with Miss Minutes on it right now, which that is a pretty cool cover. I'm not going to knock it.
Yeah, I mean, you sit here and you say, buy what makes you happy, right? And so how many people are brand new comic collectors because their kids are just now getting into the movies, or they're just now getting into the Star Wars shows, and that is their introduction, and they work their way from stuff that's on some kind of hot list that they don't know not to pay attention to the hot 10, the hot 20, whatever is hot today. And then they
We
find
had the Wizard Hot 10 growing up. I mean,
right? That's right. We
the
had
Hot
it.
10 lists have been here for the longest. And how many times have you listened to like a top 40?
Right.
And
Totally
then
agree.
like, I can't stand the moral to that story is,
But that, for plenty of people, that is their
We were talking
introduction.
about it earlier.
That's the introduction that guides them to that there. Errol, make it big.
Yeah.
here's a
More
book.
is hack.
That
Right.
was compliments of that is
Nice.
proudly in my collection, compliments of Mr. Bonafide himself. God, guys, if you like Quantum Leap, read this series, man.
Yeah.
Read it.
But people have to use the entry level stuff to get them started. And that's how they segue into the big boy stuff. They gotta work their way there. People don't just walk up and one day say, I want the suicide issue. They don't, say they want
Of course
pre-COVID.
not. But you know what people do? They're just they go and they say, man, I like Captain America. I'm going to read his stuff.
That's right. I agree.
They go and they're like, man, I think Groot's pretty cool. I'll read his stuff, and then you just kind of you grow from there.
Yeah.
I think if we're trying to influence the idea that everybody is motivated by money in every step and fashion, and you're talking to two people that had a fairly substantial day to day. And, our buddy from North Carolina had a very good day today as well. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Money is a thing.
Yeah.
But I strongly encourage anybody and everybody, know your source material, like the stuff first.
Yeah.
And, if you're getting what you like, the rest, number one, becomes immaterial. It's totally inconsequential. But then you can start noticing trends like, look, man, I mean, I was young when Sabretooth's first appearance was $5 to $10.
Yeah.
And then he showed up in the Mutant Massacre and all of a sudden started going toe-to-toe with Wolverine, and then it became a $60 book.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell, it's like, whoa, this guy is cool. The second you saw him, and by the time it became a $60 book, that's when Wizard is reporting, guess what's a $60 book now? And
That's
it
right.
might have bumped to $100,
Yeah.
but it's sold for $60 for the longest time.
Look at it now. And, in Iron Fist, the show, the embarrassment that is that show, for all of the heat that show causes, Iron Fist 14 is always going to be a big money book.
Yep.
And Sabretooth is not a hot bad guy right now. It's just always a book. Always.
No matter what monstrosity they've turned Wolverine into, 181's always going to be a book.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
because it's Wolverine's Joker.
That's it. But he wasn't always like that. You know, that's the cool part about that.
But he naturally, it's the natural progression of characters.
I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be straight up. Like, I love cheesy tier 2 characters like Speedball and Sleepwalker. And yes, before it became a meme, and you meme people, I hate you. Because there are people out there that actually enjoy the book. But Darkhawk, I enjoyed the first, 10, 12 issues of that book.
That's all right.
And it's like that one jackass that made that video, like, look how cool I am standing here. Social media, you suck. Man, I don't know what else to say about y'all, but like a lot of people, y'all are so freaking attention starved that you got to carry your little phones everywhere you freaking go and play your little show and tell games every time you walk out of a place with something. Man, Darkhawk is a great little dollar book that it's a 90s Iron Man is all it is.
And that's exactly why I started the podcast.
Through all of these stupid, all hail Darkhawk when you're just trying to read about comics, man. Y'all are freaking. Anyway, I need to just shut up. I'm too tired.
It's Darkhawk, right? Make some Darkhawk haikus.
Yeah, but I loved Darkhawk. I liked it.
I have to stand. That's why.
Andy, I'm going to try to get him as fired up as possible so that you have to put up with him the rest of the night.
My back hurts, so I have to keep standing.
My back hurts. I've been carrying them all day.
How many Darkhawks do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I've got one for my personal collection that I got it mainly because I liked the New Warriors, Sleepwalker, Speedball, Darkhawk. That little stretch of I loved the New Warriors. I absolutely loved them.
Early New Warriors. That's right.
But that little stretch there, I went ahead and bought the issues that I knew I liked.
Right.
So in my personal collection, that includes like the big dollar books, I've got, some of my favorite things are those stupid characters, man. Everybody kind of picks their. He just picked up my witching hour #1 over there, by the way.
It's his turn to fret you. He's going to do it in a different way. He's going to do it.
There you go.
Get through the phone.
But
I've got 2 Spider-Man annual Speedballs for Speedball.
I think I got a couple of them because I got them in dollar bin.
But you know why I've got 10 or 11 of those?
Every time I
saw that book, I said, Speedball, this is his first appearance. It's sitting here in a dollar bin.
Yep.
Might as well. I like it.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So that's if I end up with like 4 copies of the Beatles cover of Batman, it's because I sat there every time I saw that book going, wow, it's that book. I like this book.
Let me find
it's
that one.
$50. I'll buy it. And look, it's $65. I'll buy it. And now they're selling for $225 a piece.
Yeah,
that's how you win. You're not going to win doing this nickel and diming. Going and buying every copy. You might have short-term gain if you're like one of the first, 50 people to put it on eBay. But after that, it really is. It's sucker money is what it is.
It is. Hey, it's okay.
That's a book.
This is the one that every time I would see it in dollar bins, I always thought it's Krang, its first appearance. Steady. I was picking these things up I got like 6 or 7 of them over here.
Is that the Archie Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
That is the Archie Ninja Turtles. Yeah. And that's a book.
Yeah. First Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm just like, it's a dollar book. Why are people paying way ridiculous amounts for it?
That's exactly right. Because they don't know where to look. They don't know where to hunt.
Yeah. If you want to spec
there's
a bona fide.
This is a book that Andy just pulled out of my PC. Yeah. If you want to buy a book, buy this when you see it.
That's a great one.
This is undervalued. It is literally a Hulk 1 for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
But it's like if you want a Hulk run that numerically runs from this to the end, and the Hulk is a character that's not going away. He's going to be cool.
Yep.
This is where you start.
If you want a werewolf book, then you go buy the Hulk one. If you want Hulk, this is Hulk.
That is our Green Goliath right there.
Nice.
And I say, you know, like I noticed a couple of people today, you know, people, it is really cool looking at what people like and get into and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there was somebody today, they came by and they bought my Supernatural Thrillers 5 that I had.
Nice.
I was like, heck yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm collecting monster stuff. I'm like, no kidding. That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
do, you know? And I explained, you know, how, you know, I've got my first Werewolf by Night, my first, all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And it's like that's my little goal. And Supernatural Thrillers is what I'm working on now, at least all the Living Mummy stuff. But I've got the entire, you know, Frankenstein Monster of Frankenstein run. Tomb of Dracula, I'm 6 issues away from completing.
What do you need from Tomb of Dracula?
What's that?
What issues do you need?
They're all in the mid-20s. It's like I would say teens to mid-20s. But so close to finishing that. And it's like really cool. You can kind of see like little trends. There were people today looking for war stuff today. There were people today. Face it, it's as broad as it's ever been.
Yeah.
This weird belief that everything, like all of the hot indie stuff, I haven't heard anybody asking about that stuff. No Nice House on the Lake. No super hot indie stuff.
Something
People
is
are
killing the
enjoying
children.
that.
I had people asking about indie stuff that wasn't.
Or Stray Dogs.
Stray Dogs. I guarantee if we'd had Stray Dogs on the wall, but nobody was asking for it.
Yeah.
You know,
about older indie stuff.
It was a little bit of older indie stuff that people were kind of like asking about. And it was one series that for the life of me, I can't even say that I'd heard of it. You know, but a couple of people, like some of the modern horror, I think somebody mentioned Ice Cream Man today. It was a couple things
for a while. That's right.
The couple little things that some people were interested in, but overall, like I say, people, man, I sold a lot of Daredevil today. I sold
because they're getting ready for
a ton of Amazing Spider-Man today.
Yep.
So people still want their superheroes. I did a good amount of Batman. I sold some Conan today.
See, that's what I'm kind of surprised as the Conan, but I feel like that's always kind of out there, and people are always kind of looking for that.
You know, the cool thing about Conan, if you want to collect Conan right now, you've got some of the most beautiful artwork with the Barry Windsor Smith stuff for issues 1 through 24. Yep. One is that's it. then you jump right into John Buscema, and the magazines. That's a different animal, and those things are stupid cool. You know, but you like look at Conan like consistently, you get this pretty cool savage story for a while.
Those old witches.
Good art. I mean, that's Conan.
That's it. I like that book there a lot.
I think are awesome.
Yep, I like that book a lot, Daryl.
Hey, did you say Werewolf by Night? Or no, you said Tomb of Dracula.
Tomb of Dracula.
Tomb of Werewolf.
Tomb of Werewolf. So that last collection I picked up, I've got Werewolf by Night 10, 22, and 37 out of it.
37's a good find.
Yeah. I thought, I feel differently. And I'll tell you what's disappointing doesn't have more traction than it does is the Batman Legend of the Dark Knight books.
Yeah.
And
that considering Batman 89, and that was the first new Batman title, and however many years when that happened.
Yeah.
There's one good storyline in the Venom storyline.
Yeah.
Because that's, that was what made Bane.
That's right.
But it was just so freaking overprinted, like every issue. And I think everybody kind of bought it out of a sense of duty to keep buying it. But again, that shows you the power of the package storylines also.
Yeah.
And how ultimately in the long run, they're not very desirable. because there's a beginning, middle, end. Beginning, middle, end. And it's weird because if you look at it, like I dropped it off my pull list at that time. I still collected Detective. I still collected Batman. But every freaking time, like Legends, it was just like, okay, great. So I know I've got this for the next 4 issues. Okay, great. And here's the next 4 issues. You know, and that to me was kind of a fail. And here we are just totally doing it right now. But again, the mindset has changed in the 20, 30 years since.
Yep.
But it always does. And it's kind of a cycle, right? And we know it's always going to be a cycle. You know, how frequently do you're in the line at the grocery store and the 6 different versions of Teen Magazine of the same story year after year after year. And they're just trying to appeal to the new wave of people that is coming in and getting exposure to it. This is the same way, you know.
I just miss Bat Boy.
Yeah. It's just the nature of marketing in general. You know, whether you're selling beer and soda or comics or martial arts, it's just marketing and, you know, anything else.
Hey, Billy, are you tired?
I'm extremely tired. I'm actually in fidget mode right now, looking for things to occupy my time to keep me going, man.
Yeah, I was going to cut this off a while back, but y'all just kept going and going and going. And I was like, I'm trying to find a place to jump in.
Yeah.
Jump right in, man. It's
Yeah,
your
because
show.
I wanted to let you guys go a while back because I know how tired you guys are. You guys have another long day tomorrow.
Yeah. What's your day tomorrow? 10 to 5?
It's 11 to 5, isn't it?
No, it's I think we're allowed in at 10.
Okay.
Show starts at 11, ends at 5.
Right on.
All right.
Then the teardown, the dreaded teardown.
Yeah, that's the kicker right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for coming on and telling me what all was going on at the show, letting everybody know. And if you're in the Roanoke, Virginia area, head up to Big Lit Comic Con tomorrow. Go see Billy with the password
banana,
and you get your discount. But you guys got anything else?
I am rock solid now. Andy's out there digging through some of our books there.
Daron.
Yeah.
Like it.
Also, if you're also in the Roanoke, Virginia, go over to Hybrid Martial Arts and get you some good jiu-jitsu on. Dennis, he's the man. He's the man. He taught me a little bit here and there.
Little bit.
Little bit.
Little bit.
And I got other stuff coming. Disc golf video coming out in the next couple of days. And other than that, nothing else. But that's all we got. And you guys have an incredible day.